Welcome to Toy Business Unboxed, your gateway to the secrets of the toy industry. Here, Jason Shea, a toy entrepreneur and expert in the field.
Every product we develop is really inspired by some of the real life experience that we have with our son.
60% of all toys last year were sold on Amazon, which is incredible.
Be passionate about it because it's a road, it's a journey.
Like when you have an idea that you think is like gonna somewhat like change the world, make things better, I'd say go for it.
We'll guide you through the enchanting world of toy design, marketing, and manufacturing. Now let the unboxing begin.
Welcome back to another episode of Toy Business Unboxed. Today, I'm joined by George, a board game publisher, a husband, and also a father of 4, who has been in the board game industry since 2007. He began with sports simulation games and recently launched his own games, Hastilude, Euro-style strategy games, and which we'll dive into his creative process today during the interview and talk about his background and also his future plan for his company. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Great. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so first of all, you have a very interesting name for the game. So it's a very hard word, like we discussed before the interview. For those of you that never heard of that particular word that you're using, what is the word meaning, and also what is the game all about?
Okay, Hastilude, the actual term means it's a generic term used in the Middle Ages to refer to many kinds of martial games. The word comes from Latin, Hastiludum, literally lance game.
Okay.
So we put that definition right on the cover of the rule book.
I see.
And that's a big part of the game. The main focus of the game is you're going to have your knights enter jousting tournaments. So
I see. So how did the idea for creating this board game ever first came from?
it's funny because it started with my sports background in that I wanted a game where it started off where you were going to draft sports players and then just have a tournament at the end of the round. As throughout the design process, it just wasn't working. And I've always been a big fan of worker placements. Naturally, it kind of went to knights. And with the worker placements, I'm like, what if you can get resources, turn those resources into equipment, equip your knights, and then go fight in tournaments? So kind of evolved from that.
I see. So since we're kind of on the topic of the game, can you also show the game and kind of explain how the game is actually being played?
Yes. So this is the cover of Hastilude.
Mm-hmm.
You can play it. It's 1 to 4 players. How it works is you're going to get an army of workers. You're going to start the game with 5 workers and 1 level 1 knight. You're going to start with 1 of each resource. You're not going to start with any equipment. You want to use your workers are going to gather those resources. Your workers can pick up a quest or they can pick up an order. You're going to use those resources and turn them into equipment. There are 3 different types of equipment. There's weapons, shields, and armor. Those will go from levels 1 to 3, and you're going to equip each knight can handle 1 of each type. With that, you're going to get a knight strength. So, for example, if I had a level 2 weapon, a level 2 armor, and a level 2 shield, and my knight was a level 3, I would have a level 9 total knight strength. You can enter tournaments, you can complete quests, or you can fulfill orders. Orders will primarily get you gold. The quests will get you victory points. And if you can enter and win a tournament, it'll give you both gold and victory points.
During the tournament, do you fight with other players?
So in the base game, there's 2 different ways you could do it. The way the base game works is you're going to get a random knight card. Each tournament you enter is going to give you a range. So for example, if you enter the level 1 to 2 knight tournaments, the range is 2 to 8. So going in, you know that you're going to have to fight a random knight with the total strength of 2 to 8. You're going to shuffle a little deck. You're going to draw a card. Everybody who entered that tournament will fight the same card. So in the same example, if you had a level 6, but you drew a 7, you would lose the tournament. If you have that game group where you like to fight each other, then when you enter the tournament, you're going to pair up, and then you're going to reveal what equipment's with each knight, and the higher strength total will win.
Very interesting. I see. And how do you win the whole game at the end?
So the whole game is it's going to all be about victory points. At the end of the game, you're going to get victory points for your knights. You can have up to 3 knights. There's a few unique things we do with workers. One of them is the only way to get new knights is you have to train a worker to become a knight. So while you're going to make your workforce smaller to do less things, you're going to gain knights. And your knights are the only way you're going to score victory points. So, and the knights also get gold. So at some point in the game, you're going to need gold to hire more workers. You're going to need gold to upgrade knights. You're going to need gold to train knights. At some point during the game, you want to change from a gold strategy to a victory point strategy.
I see.
And when to do that is every game can be a little different depending on how the board lays out and how other players are playing.
Yeah.
And it's you don't want to go to the victory point too soon because then you won't have enough gold to do the things that you want to do.
Oh, I see, I see, I see. And how long is a typical gameplay?
You can with that an hour and a half, maybe the first time if you're playing and you're learning out of the rule book, it might take you 2 hours. But
Oh, okay.
once you have a basic understanding of the rules, you can play in an hour and a half.
I see, I see, I see. Yeah. And what would you say that make your game kind of stand out amongst other competition that have kind of similar resource gathering or strategy game?
So I think a few things. I think we do a couple, like I said before, we do some unique things with the workers. One is we have a track where they're going to be training to begin night. So if I put the
Mhm.
worker on the track at the end of the round, he'll move up. The end of the next round, he moves up. And then at the end of that third round, he now becomes a knight. So the worker leaves the game, but you have a second level 1 knight.
Oh, the worker also can become a knight. Okay, okay,
Right.
okay.
So you're
I see.
turning your workers into knights. And like I said, you're losing your
Oh,
workforce. I think another unique thing we do is with the resources, your first worker and a basic resource will gather 1. If you
yeah.
get a second worker in that area, then you'll get 2, and a third worker will give you 3. But each
I see.
resource spot only has 5 available spots.
Okay.
So sometimes it's tough getting in there, but the more workers you get in an area, the more resources you'll get. We
I see.
also do where the board is kind of broken down into different sections. Workers can only go in certain sections, and knights can only go in certain sections.
I see. Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
even though it's a knight is technically a worker that you just use to get your victory points or gold.
I see. How many player are usually being? It's like 4 player, or how many player?
Yes, it goes from 1 to 4. I
Mm.
offer there's 2 different solo modes in the game. One is just a simple automa that comes with a deck of cards. On it's
Okay.
not your turn, you're going to flip a card. It'll tell you what to do. Either it'll block a worker spot, it might score victory points with their knight, or you can play where you're just trying to complete as many quests as you can by the end of the game.
I see. I see. I see. So throughout your journey of bringing this game idea to life, what has been some of your biggest challenge in getting the game into the world?
I would say capital has probably been my biggest challenge.
I
It's
see.
been hard to get the word out. Advertising, I didn't spend a lot, but we did as much Facebook advertising as we could, and it didn't really work well. We didn't have a good base when we launched a Kickstarter,
I
so we
see.
were kind of destined to fail from the beginning. But I would
I
say
see.
the lack of capital, the lack of my company being known, me being known, that was
Mhm.
our biggest obstacle, and it's one it's still very challenging to this day still.
I see. How did the Kickstarter campaign went at the end?
It was I don't even think we raised 10% of the funds, and I think
Oh,
most of the
I
backers we
see.
had were people who either knew me or friends of mine. So it
Oh,
it
I
it did
see.
not go very well.
Are you thinking about giving it a second shot?
I don't think so. I think when the
Mm.
Kickstarter ended, I talked to a couple people that kinda helped me with it, and we decided, "You know what? Let's try to raise the funds ourselves." So we
I see.
kinda did an investment thing where we had some of our friends pitch in for a percentage of the sales, and
Okay.
then we did just raise
Okay.
enough money to get the minimum copies sent here. So we
I
were
see.
determined to get the game made regardless.
I see. I see. I see. Got it. Thank you for sharing that. Do you had any surprise reaction or feedback from actual player playing the games?
It's funny is so far most of the feedback has been fairly positive, which is frustrating because we're not selling a lot of copies. So that kind of
Oh,
makes it frustrating that you're getting a positive feedback. I know in the early playtesting, I wasn't a big fan. It's gone through many changes, and I know I wasn't gonna
oh,
be
I
satisfied
see.
with the final result until I like playing it, and
Yeah.
I love playing it. I'll
Okay.
never turn down a game. I know it's funny. I'm the designer, so you would be like, "Well, of course not."
Yeah.
But I enjoy
Yeah.
playing it a lot, and that was my big thing is I wasn't gonna release a game just to release a game. I wanted it to be something I really enjoyed.
Of course, and out of all the people I talk to, I think play testing is definitely a very important part of the process. How long does it took you for your play testing for this particular game?
So, we probably spent a good 7 to 8 years play testing total.
Too
Yeah, this
long.
game was
Okay.
almost a decade in the making.
Oh,
It
okay.
wasn't anything we rushed out. I brought it to a few conventions. I ran it, and again, all the feedback there was positive. It's tough. I mean, I understand if the designer's there running a game, it's kind of hard for you to say, you know what, I don't like it. So you
Okay.
got to take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Friends of mine were honest. I have a couple of friends who thought it was just okay, and then I had some friends that liked it a lot. So but we
I
play
see.
tested it a lot.
Mhm.
So we were pretty confident that the final version was a solid game.
I see. I see. Who are the like typical or ideal players that usually enjoy your game the most?
Usually, I would say it's medium light to medium weight Euro players. Of a
Mhm.
lot of people have compared it to Lords of Waterdeep. So I
I
think
see.
if you are a fan of Lords of Waterdeep, I think you would like Hastilude.
Okay, okay, okay. I see. That's an interesting comparison. And what is your current plan to promote the games and really get your names more out there?
So the current plan is we're just going to keep moving forward. I think we have a couple more games that we want to make that are in development right now. For
Yeah.
Hastilude, I'm gonna go to as many conventions. I'm gonna do podcasts like this one.
Yeah.
I've given out some copies to reviewers. On
Uh-huh.
Board Game Geek, we just had a few review copies actually get posted.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
So, and then I offer free shipping. So you can only get it on my website, but I offer free
Yeah.
shipping anywhere in the US.
Oh, I see.
So I'm hoping, by a lot of these little things, hopefully it'll eventually get out there.
How about influencer marketing? Are you reaching out to influencer, having them review, like
I have. We've reached
unboxing?
out to the Dice Tower. So, and I actually
Oh,
met
okay.
Tom Vassell
Okay.
at Origins, that was great meeting him. And
Okay.
I gave him a copy. So I
Okay.
got my fingers crossed. Hopefully he reviews it. Hopefully he likes the game. His opinion carries a lot of weight in the industry. So
Okay. I see. So yeah, but that definitely is something worth trying. Maybe you can reach out to
absolutely. And I've reached out to
others.
other
Yeah.
influencers. A lot of influencers have a copy of the game. We're
Mhm.
finally starting to see some podcasts where it's being mentioned and some videos where it's being mentioned.
I see. I
It just
see.
has not turned into sales yet. So we're hoping.
Yeah, I think in my experience, usually a more complicated game, it take a little bit time for people to understand it, compared to like a family-friendly game that
Right.
only take 10 minutes to play. It's a
Right.
little bit different of a promotional strategy because it's a lot easier for people just to get it like
Right.
right away instead of a more kind of complicated or complex game. It just takes some time for people to understand the games, even want to play the games, and then promoting
Right.
the games later on as well. So
Yes, I would agree with
yeah.
that.
And what are some of you looking into the future? What are some of your plans for the future since the game is now live and also available?
But so now that the game is live, one of the things that I've come to realize is that I love doing it.
Mhm.
It's not at first. It was my big goal is I want to get a game published.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to do it myself. And then I didn't know if it was going to be a one and done type thing, but I love doing it. I've already been working on a couple other games. I have somebody else who's working on a game under my company name.
Okay.
So we're playtesting kind of two games at once. And that's what I would love to do for the future is publish games. And eventually I would love to publish other designers' games if we can ever get to that point would be.
Yeah, that's actually a very popular business model that a lot of publishing company I talk to also kind of partner with other designer, have a licensing deals. I think the most like you really need to start building a team around it, so you have different people in charge of different aspect for
Right.
either promoting like play testings and the operations, the
Yes.
fundraising. There's a lot of different moving pieces. So yeah, but looking back to your journey, a lot of the people I talk to, one of the major decisions they make early on is either go self-publishing or go like try to pitch the product to a bigger publisher. Has that ever come across your mind to pitch your idea to a bigger publisher instead of go with a self-publishing route?
Yes. My thought was if the Kickstarter fails, I'm just going to pitch it to publishers and hopefully somebody will pick it up. And I
Okay.
think this is where working on it for so long maybe hurt me a little bit. Working on it
Mm.
10 years was that after the Kickstarter failed, I didn't want to give up control. And maybe in
Oh.
hindsight, maybe that'll be a mistake down the road.
Mhm.
I'm not really sure, but I don't regret
Mm.
my decision to try to
Mhm.
raise the funds and try to make it work on my own. I don't regret it.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, I mean, a very important decision. But I think one of the major differences is if you do self-publishing, you're running your own business,
Right.
so you need to handle every single aspect of it, not just
Right.
the designing part. That's just a very tiny piece of it. So that's a major difference. Whereas if you pitch the idea to a publisher, they kind of do the rest. You just need to
Right.
focus on designing the game, make sure the game is actually working. And out of your, you mentioned about a few different trade shows that you have in mind. Which for our listener that's also like looking into different trade shows to promote their games, which one do you recommend?
Origins, we had a great time at Origins. We went to Origins. We were there the entire time. We talked to a lot of people, a lot of influencers. We gave away a lot of copies.
Mhm.
We didn't sell a ton. I wish
Mhm.
our sales could have been better. We did make our booth back at least, so
I see.
I can't complain about that. But yeah, Origins was great. We would love to get into Gen Con, but they have a huge waiting list, so I don't know how realistic that will be in the future.
Okay.
It's just we had to make a decision whether it's worth the fee to get into the trade shows. All
True. Yeah, Gen Con is more expensive. Any other
right.
one you're planning or thinking about attending?
We were thinking about PAX, but they were booked. We reached out to PAX, the one that's in November,
That's
November, I
Unpub?
believe.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and
They
they
have
were
a
they were
few.
booked. We couldn't get into them.
I see. Okay.
So they were told us to reach out to them in February for next year. So that's
For next
definitely one
year.
of the possibilities we're thinking about.
I see. Okay. Got it. And you also mentioned that you have some experience with working with sports simulation games in the past as well.
Yeah, as a kid, I grew up playing sports simulation games, and they're my favorite. I love them. It's a game you play by yourself for the most part, and you
Mhm.
can play at your own pace, and it's great. So that was my first games I designed were those types back in
Oh, okay.
2007, 2008,
I see. Okay.
and I started from scratch. I bought a printer, printed my own cards. I remember I would come home from work with one of those hand cutters,
Oh,
and
okay.
I would cut cards until I
Uh-huh.
made enough money where I bought my own card cutter. So I still sell
I
those on
see.
my website, and actually they're pretty solid. I don't do too bad when it comes to the sale of those. There's just a lot of work involved.
Well, yeah, for sure. You need to cutting it.
Right. But
Oh,
there's a
I
lot of
see.
work, but I love doing it. So
I see. Thank you so much for sharing that. So, as well, kind of wrapping up today's interview, if you looking back to your own journey, if you have to share one piece of advice with someone else that's just getting started within the toys and game industry, what would that be?
my one advice is if you want to go all in and do it yourself, whatever it takes, do it. Don't give it up. Because there were a lot of times I went through over the 10 years, it wasn't 10 years steady of working on
Yeah.
Hastilude. It would be, let's work on it hard for a year and a half. And then for a year, I didn't look at it or touch it.
Oh, okay.
So all of those things really made it a slow process. Don't give up. That would be my biggest advice is don't give up. If you want to go the route of pitching it to publishers, that's a great idea too. But if you want to
Mhm.
make it go with your own company, I know that's tough to do. It's tough to be a designer and a publisher at the same time, especially
Yeah.
starting out. But
Yeah.
that would be my biggest piece of advice is if you want to do it, just do it. Do your best. Try it.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, just like any other kind of entrepreneur journey, you need to wear a lot of different hats.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
100%. So for those listener that's interested to learn more about your companies and your games, where is the best place for people to find you online?
So our website is GEN1400 gaming
Mhm.
site, SITE.
I see. Okay.
And you can order Hastilude on there. Again, it's free shipping anywhere in the US. It's $49.99 a copy. And also all of my sports simulation games and all the seasons I offer are also on there.
And thank you again for your time and sharing your story and your journey so far in the industry. Hopefully, you will have a successful year ahead.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for our listener for tuning in to this episode of Toy Business Unboxed podcast. We hope you really enjoyed today's conversation and find it insightful and inspiring. If you like what you have heard, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode. We really appreciate your support and would love it if you can leave us a review and share the podcast with your friends and colleagues. For more resource, tips, and the latest update in the toys and game industry, visit our website at toy-launch.com. Join the conversation and connect with us on social media using hashtag ToyBusinessUnboxed. We'd love to hear your feedback and suggestions for future episodes. Until next time, keep innovating, keep creating, keep bringing joys to toys. This is Jason Shea signing off on the Toy Business Unboxed podcast. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much, everyone.